Seriously? Hey guys, and welcome to this Beast Snagger discussion video with myself, 6+ Stevo, and very special guest, Mr. Drunken Ork himself. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm not too bad. Hello.
Thank you very much for joining me on this video. I've invited you onto the channel just because I know you obviously do a channel yourself called The Drunken Ork. There'll be a link appearing on the screen now, people. Go and check it out. Go and subscribe. You're an orc enthusiast, just like myself. And we've seen some exciting stuff lately, haven't we, with all this Beast Snagger stuff. And we're basically going to chat shit about it and discuss it, see what we think of it, and just go through the stuff.
Aye.
So, well, where should we start? I guess let's start with the news from Warhammer Fest that recently came out. Was it day 5?
Day 5, yeah.
Day 5, yeah.
Or if you prefer, hour 3.
Yeah, yeah, they broke that down, didn't they? Like a week of announcements and things in little short form bits. And yeah, the first few days, everyone was kicking up quite the stink, weren't they? Like, oh, it's crap. All the stuff they're showing is rubbish. I think mostly because it wasn't green, and we just wanted to see green stuff. We didn't care about Sisters of Battle or Age of Sigmar or whatever else they showed. Well. The big news, I guess. Let's go. What should we start with first? We start with the big box, the army box. So we've got the army box coming. 26 miniatures in the box.
That's right, yeah.
With a codex included.
Limited edition codex.
Yeah, limited edition with a fancy looking cover, with some nice artwork on the front. One of the Squig hog riders. Yeah, looks good. And this is coming out, isn't it, before the release of the general codex?
Yeah, it's a chance to get there's like an early release, but how early I don't know, but yeah, I'll be trying to pick one up, definitely.
Same. I really want one. I'm looking forward to possibly getting one, but I'm also a bit nervous because I know how quick these things sell out. And getting the
I just don't want to read about the changes, on me mobile or on the online. I want to, like a real adult, sit there with a book in my hand on the toilet and go through them. And,
Amen.
You know what I mean.
100%. Well, if you are reading it on the phone, you're still probably going to be on the toilet, aren't you? No,
to be fair, it's a knock and bet. Yeah.
Right. I wonder how many people watch my channel from the toilet. Probably about 90% of them.
Probably best not think about it.
You don't want to think that too deeply. But yeah, 26 models in this thing. This was a bit of a surprise because I was sort of leading up to all these announcements and things. I'm thinking, well, it's going to be great. We're going to be getting a combat patrol box, which we are still going to be getting. So they've obviously still got that to unveil as well, which will not be a limited edition. And it's going to be interesting to see what's in that. So. Yeah, they're definitely aiming their targets at our wallets at the moment, aren't they? Because basically, it means most of us are going to be looking to buy 2 big boxes of orcs, because I suspect the combat patrol box will have different stuff in it. This looks to me more like a starter set almost. Like this is like they've done with the starter sets. With like monobuild stuff in there, like snap fit stuff and things. So like with the Beast Snagger boys, seems to be the direction they're going in. I've covered it on my channel. I know on your video you covered it as well, that there's 20 Beast Snagger boys in the box, and on initially seeing them, first off being wowed by how awesome they look, but then thinking, oh, hang on, I can see some repeats here.
Yeah.
Oh, these are monobuild. And then the light at the end of the tunnel, when people are sort of saying, and I'm realising that, it might just be in this box though. And then when they're released on their own, they're going to be fully posable and multi-part with options and things. But what do you think about that? What do you think the chances are that...
I mean, I thought the same myself at first. There's definitely 2 kits of 10 in there. for the boys. But I've been through them, and there is identical doubles with 8 of them, or 16 if you include the doppelgangers. But then the last couple of couples is the fella with the gun.
Yeah.
Although he does have another twin. But it looks like the left hand, which is holding under the gun, is different. They've replaced it with a chopper, and I assume a slugger in the other hand.
Yeah.
But the head, the body, the rest of the arms, the legs are all the same. And even the boss, the knob that's in there, he's got the same legs as the first Beast Snagger boy the focused on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so, I noticed that. I watched your video showing that, actually, and yeah, you're bang on. You're bang on with that.
So if the legs are the same, because obviously it's not a whole, leg, because the bodies look different. So there's a joint where you stick the torso into the leg. So I'm sort of praying that sort of hints towards a little bit more sort of modularity. Look at the modularity, but I don't know for definite. I'm hoping it means as well that when they bring out the standard kits, there's going to be a lot more of that going on, like they did for various other kits in the past, like the Indomitus, Dark Empire, Dark Imperium stuff. But this isn't a Warhammer 40k starter kit like they were, where you got rules, 2 factions.
Yeah,
this is a codex and 1 faction. So it's hard to say.
Well, I wasn't aware that because I keep an eye on what's going on with other factions and things from GW, but I don't really obviously take as much notice with that as what's going on with the Orks. But from what I hear from people who do, is that this is quite a common occurrence with other factions. Apparently they did it with the Sisters in the sort of army box that came out with them, that they had a lot of sort of mono build stuff, but then when the stuff was released in a kit on its own, it was fully modular. And other kits as well. Obviously they've done a similar thing with Necrons and Space Marines and things. So that raises a lot of hope that we will get fully modular posable Beast Snagger boys, and I hope we do, because if you're I think it'll affect someone like me a lot less, because I'm probably just going to put a small contingent of them with my existing army as like a little offshoot. So I probably won't be looking to fill my army out with loads of Beast Snagger boys. But for someone who's looking to make like a pure Beast Snagger army, obviously if you've just got 10 and they're just repeating, that's
it's a bit
shit, isn't it?
A bit rough, yeah. But yeah, likewise, I'll have a unit of 20, maybe 30.
Yeah.
And whatever for I want the Hog Riders as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to have a full army of them. It'll just be a mob, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as bad for me if they're not posable.
I think, like you say, 20 to 30. I guess if they do stay, if it comes out and they are just the same kit as you're getting in this big box, then it'll probably be 20. But if they do release a set and it's fully modular, you're gonna have to buy that as well, aren't you? So then it will come 30. They're the same, but I can do more with them, and they've got different options and different heads and whatnot. And but yeah, I see the boy you're saying who's got like the looks like a shooter with like a big ball. It looks like basically like a special weapons one in the squad, or at least the option of it. And I think because even the way his arm is holding down and holding the underside of the gun, I think that's where the join is. I think that arm is exactly the same, and you'll basically just swap one arm. He'll have an arm with the slugger, or he'll have an arm that's holding the shooter with the hand attached to it that just plugs into the socket. And I think that's looking the way that's going. But yeah, the knob. Go on.
I was going to say, have you seen the back of that boy?
No, well, no, I don't.
There was a shot where one of the pan shots on the video, and you saw him from behind. And I've just the video I've just released. I looked briefly at the boys again before I went on to Zogwart and that. But you can see him, and he's got like a bandolier going around his back with about 3 shells in it.
All right,
and the shells look like
big.
Massive, big, chunky, solid shells. So that weapon's going to be some sort. Because I was thinking maybe it's like a blunderbuss,
or a shotgun or something. Like
maybe some
short range, big,
shot
powerful
weapon or short. Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be firing a big solid slug by the look. Well, if they've modelled it to be what it is, so that's going to pack some punch, I think.
Could be some sort of auto hitting.
The one time it hits in the battle.
Yeah, well, I say it might be like an auto, which is literally what we think probably like a 12-inch range, like big powerful blast, like. Yeah, that could be cool. That could be very cool. And then obviously it looks like you've got the option to just not have it and have him as just a regular Beast Snagger boy with Slugger Chopper. But the knob looks cool, but he's kind of concerning, isn't he? Because he looks basically, he suffers the same issue as the knob in the Boyz set.
Yeah.
Little leg syndrome. He's got his little stubby legs and... yeah,
it's all that muscle you see. Where it's
squashing him down.
Uses the old knees, you know.
Because even the boys, I noticed it again on another one of your videos when you were. Well, I think when that first boy was shown, you raised that point that his torso is very big, and he's got the similar sort of V shape of the knob that you get in the Boyz set. This is just the regular boy. And that's only going to be accentuated further with the knob, isn't it? Because obviously his torso is going to be even bigger, even taller.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a thought about that, because if they share the same legs, and even if that's the only model in the kit where, you know, the legs come separate, if they've given the knob little legs syndrome, then they've got to have the boy with a slightly larger than normal torso. Otherwise, he's just going to be a right little short ass, isn't he?
Yeah.
So they've had to extend his torso a bit, because I've not really noticed the whole, you know, wedge, huge sort of body legs on any of the other boys. And that we thinking behind the reasoning for that. That's a good sentence. Is you know how you get 10 boys in a box at the minute and a knob, you get like 11 models. The way they've done it now is you get 10. One of them can be a knob or a boy, depending. You buy 3 boxes, you get 30 models. Whereas currently you get 3 extra.
Yeah.
I think it's just trying to... I don't know. It's worse for us in a way because we're one model down, but it's, you know, it's
it is nice getting 11 boys in a box. It is.
Yeah.
And I always make 11 boys because I just make the knobs out of the knob kit to get ones with like full-size legs. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they, like I say. I'm keen now to see what they look like when they're released on their own, and if they do indeed come with, you know, option. Because we've had it before, haven't we? With Black Reach, we had the Snap Fit boys. I've got tons of them. I've got about 60 of them gits from that set. The Snap Fit Slugger Chopper boys that look, they fit in once they're all built and painted. They look just like the regular boys. But obviously the boys kit was all multi-part and posable and stuff. So yeah, hopefully this is just the same thing. That this is kind of a kind of a starter set. This is to sort of, and I think it saves the money as well, doesn't it? This is a way of cost reduction in these sets. Like the Snap Fit monopose kits are obviously cheaper and easier. There's less wastage. There's less extra parts.
Yeah.
So it's a way for them to give us more value. Like you're getting 20 boys in this set and you're saving this much money, but the downside is that they're going to be monopose and
I think they seem to have in the past they have had the easy build kits and then the full kit with the range of options and different weapon loadouts and, you know, posability options, but they did start getting rid of the easy build stuff, didn't they? Was it earlier this year or not last year?
Did they? I'm completely unaware of that. I bought a couple of them.
When my boy was trying to Oxwalkers and the easy build. I think it was the
Redemptor
Terminators, maybe.
Oh right.
The Redemptor Dreadnought came with the easy build option. So I'm hoping that I didn't mind the easy build and proper build because you had the option. As in, like, I just want this. I'm fine with easy build. I'll save myself a few quid. Or I want the posability. I'll pay.
Easy build and elitist build.
Yeah, snob build.
Snob build. Yeah.
Easy build.
I bought the easy build Redemptor for my boy when I was trying to sort of coax him into. He's got a Space Marine army, and he's played. But I bought him the Redemptor, and it was an absolute bargain. It was like 25 quid, like full price. It was like just
it's a good 10 and more for the Redemptor.
Yeah.
The full one.
I think that sort of stuff's great. If it have options out there, but Yeah, definitely.
But if you're going to build it, just stood there with the gun it comes with,
Yeah.
you know, that's fine. But I'd rather have the two options than them merge together and come up with some, you know, compromise. You haven't
Yeah.
got the portability of that one, but you've got a little bit more to it than that one. But see, I mean, the more recent kits, and I mean, Indomitus, is it that recent? It was 10 months ago now. I got that, and I got the Blade Guard veterans with it. You build them, there's nothing left on the sprues, all the parts are used. I've bought the kit since, and there's so many spare bits. You haven't really got any posability options with regards to, you know, where you put the arm.
Right.
But you've got about
choices of weapons and
there's
heads
three
and
models, and there's 8 or 9 swords.
Oh, cool.
And only get one each. So you've got there's ones where they're cleaning swords. There's that same one can be posed where he's pointing, his shield's on his back, and he's got a pistol out, or
nice.
He's pointing. There's lots of different options. So I'm hoping for something like that.
Yeah,
you could buy 3 boxes and make 9 different miniatures easy.
You know, I think you're onto something there as well. I think when we say these Beast Snagger boys are likely to have options and variety and stuff, and they will have posability to a degree, but it's not going to be what we're used to, is it, with the existing boys kit?
No.
You're not going to be, like you say, move arms up and down like that and, you know, swivel bodies and things. You'll probably be able to do a bit of that, but I think they will be a bit more... They will have set a load of different poses and a load of different weapons, and then you can kind of choose. And obviously with the experienced people among us of like converters and stuff, we will be able to do... do things and, you know, take the knife to it and chop bits up and, you know, do things if you're feeling confident enough to do things like that.
Stock up on green stuff now.
Yes, yeah, that's it. But what about rules wise? What do you think the Beast Snagger boys are going to be like on the tabletop in comparison to the regular boys?
Well, from what they've said, I'm expecting at least a strength of 5. Well, I say not at least strength 5. I'm expecting strength 5 at least. A strength increase. They didn't say they're as durable as knobs, and knobs are. Sorry, they did say they weren't as durable as knobs. Knobs don't have anything. They've got a better save, but
they've got a better save, and they've got 2 wounds, haven't they?
2 wounds, yeah. So I'm expecting them still to be 1 wound. Or just a basic save. I want them to be. I want them big choppers they've got. They've all got a very distinct, big sort of chain axe looking thing.
Yeah,
that's got to be better than a standard axe or little sort of chopper sword or something. Yeah. So I'm expecting some AP. I don't think they'll need a +1 strength or anything like that, because if they've got 5 as standard, that's enough for a troop unit.
Strength 5, AP -1 maybe with those choppers.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see AP -2, but that's not going to happen. But AP -1's fine. The damage 2 would be great, but 1 is fine. Just put them on par with like an Astartes chainsword.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Attack, -1 AP, strength user, 1 damage, done.
Yeah. And it'll make them quite a scary unit to tangle with, wouldn't it? It really would.
Yeah.
I think they might be a little bit faster as well, you know. I've got a feeling they might be a little bit nippier. A little bit more... It's going to be interesting.
Again, though, it's not like making them unreasonable. You don't put them up to 8. You just stick them at 6. You give them extra,
just that extra inch.
Put them in line with, you know, a lot of other units.
Yeah,
that's not ridiculous.
It'll be interesting to see that. I think they'll get some sort of unique special rules of their own. Maybe they'll have a slightly higher leadership. Maybe they'll be a little bit more braver than your average orc. Maybe it's going to be interesting.
Makes sense. Sure. Fluff reasons, it makes loads of sense. They're used to sort of like, you know, chasing down the biggest and scariest monsters. So it should be pretty fearless.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be interesting. Oh, if they're fearless, that'd be incredible. I doubt they'll be fearless, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
So that's the Beast Snagger boys. What else have we got in the box? We've got the Squig Riders.
Yes, we have.
So we've obviously they've leaked out. That was one of the first things they leaked out, wasn't it? The picture of one of the Squig Riders, and then a little while later they leaked out another one, and now we've finally seen the full unit of the 3, and from this we can see them from different angles as well through the video footage and things. And so we've got one with a bionic leg at the back. We've got one with wheels at the back. It looks like, from what I can see, I was looking at the picture just before we went on, and it sort of seeing from the angle, it looks like he's got exhausts and stuff poking out his backside, and so he's sort of and he's popping a wheelie. He's sort of rearing up on his legs, but on his wheel, and he's popping a wheelie. He's like probably revving up and lifting his hooves and just going at it. And that's
I think his
really
hooves are just doing that.
Yeah. Oh fuck!
It's happening again. He's doing it again. Yeah, could be.
But they look. I mean, what's your opinion on them? Because they've split opinions. I like them myself.
Sorry, go on.
I think the complaints, common complaints I hear is the big one is people don't like the piggy snouts on them, and the other complaint is that some people don't like the hooves. I think they prefer more claws sort of feet, more traditional style squigs, because they, I think they're sort of that blend of squig and boar, aren't they? They're like
but the squig hogs,
pig squigs. Which I wish they called them pig squigs. I'm going to carry on calling them pig squigs.
They are. I mean, they aren't. I mean, look at squigs. I mean, you one is a squig, and then you go, well, the squig looks like this. It's like saying describe an animal.
Yeah,
I'm going to get them all right. They're just squigs are all animals, so they cover a myriad of different sort of shapes and sizes. So if they have hooves, if they're hog based, and the nose, do I mind? Do I like the hooves? Don't mind. Nose, not the biggest fan, but like I said, that's a bit of the model I'm not keen on.
Yeah,
but I like the rest. I'll probably end up just leaving them, or I might. Was there a Photoshop somebody shaved the nose off?
Yeah, I've got to admit, when I saw that, because we were saying about it, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, they do look kind of better like that, I must admit.
Yeah.
And I had no issue with the nose. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, it does make it look a bit meaner and a bit more like a traditional squig.
Yeah.
It did have a cool look. And it'd be fairly easy to do, wouldn't it?
Oh, that should be a piece of piss.
Just file it down and smooth it off, and probably drill 2 little holes and bosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it all with my box cutter and probably only sustain 2 or 3 cuts. So
well, preaching to the choir here, man. Jeez.
But I do like them. I have. I'll be honest. I've kind of flipped a couple of times. It's not that I've went from hating them to loving them to back to hating them or anything. I've went from sort of a 40% approval to an 80% approval, back to a 50%, up to a 95. It's always been a lot of approval. But I'm the more I've seen them, the higher the approval ratings go, even when I'm changing. But no, I love them at the minute. I really like them. I think seeing them in more detail as well has really helped. I just think there's a lot of character to them.
I think
they're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
No, I think what's going to be really interesting is seeing what they look like once they're released to the public, and we start seeing everyone's pictures on the 40k community Facebook group and the 40k community Discord. Little plug there. Links in the description below. But once we start seeing pictures of what people are doing, because squigs are one of them units that, I mean, my squigs are pink. All my bomb squigs are like this sort of, I base them in purple and do this. They're really like a bright pink colour. But people paint them green, blue, red, with polka dots or tiger stripes or whatever. So you are kind of free to really go crazy with these. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see the different colour palettes and stuff people use and how unique and different that makes them. Because squigs can be sort of any colour you like, really. I mean, anything can be. Orcs can be, but traditionally orcs are green. But it's that's going to be. I think it opens up all kinds of painting possibilities and things, and I think they're going to look. If a model's painted differently, it can completely change your view of it. You're like, well, I didn't like it before. Totally. Now see it painted like that looks amazing. So that's going to be really interesting. But it's very easy to get caught up in the actual squigs themselves. But a really high point of these guys is the riders. The what are they called? The saddle gits. The grots hanging on the back was just astounding. I think it was you that pointed out in your video, was it? The one's got the little hoop on his back. That
Yeah, they've got like a little safety harness.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's as close as an orc's going to get to like one of them child carriers.
Yes.
Just a ring on the back of his shirt. Grab onto that, Junior.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking he's falling off.
That offers great scope for some conversions, doesn't it? Of the Squig galloping off and the Snotling sort of holding on with his legs dangling behind, sort of. Whoa! Yeah. That definitely opens up some possibilities of some great conversion. But I think the Grots look great on them. They look like they're having a whale of a time. And they look really evil little bastards, and just Grots are just awesome at the best of times. But they look particularly nice on these Squig Hog Riders, and the Boyz themselves look fantastic as well.
They really do. I've managed to get some slightly out of focus close-ups of the riders because on the last vid, because when you look at them, you do, as you said, you focus on the Squig. You've got this massive red face with all these teeth everywhere and that, and you focus on that. You don't notice the lad sitting on his back with his face twisted in anger with metal plates stapled to his head.
Yeah.
Arm cocked, ready to ram a rocket pot. You don't notice that. All the little bugger behind him's got no chance with his bundle of dynamite in that. But I've been very impressed with them.
Yeah.
I really have.
And I was chatting a little bit about it on my last live video about what the sort of rules and way these are going to work, and that it looks like they're effectively going to be anti-vehicle tank hunting. That's going to be their specialty. They're going to go after the big stuff, and they're going to sort of fill that same spot that tank busters currently fill in the Ork army, but be a lot more mobile and a lot more sturdy and.
Well, they're going to be doing it up close, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they take the tank hammer, but hopefully they don't
kill themselves in the process.
Yeah, they're going to hit like an absolute truck on the charge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed on the video, didn't they? On the artwork, they show them taking down a knight, which obviously that's going to get everyone excited, isn't it? Like, night hunters. That's going to be fantastic. But they look really cool. But the thing for me that probably blew them out of the water, that also comes in the box, is the Smasher Squig.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
I keep changing my mind out of all this stuff that's been revealed. I think it's probably my favourite, or it's right up there as my favourite thing of all the Ork reveals. It
is for me.
Yeah.
100%.
The Squig itself looks great with the armoured bonts and the rider on this. He's got a fantastic face, full of character, scarred. He has intent. He looks mean. He looks confident. He looks like one of the sort of alpha orcs among the tribe. He looks like he's proper, not going to take any shit off anyone. He's got a bionic arm, and he just looks awesome. But
and a proper bionic arm.
Not
some great York and claw.
Yeah,
but
intricate fingers, and posable digits, and it looks.
That's not a good store. That's strange.
It's not just like a metal pole with a big rock on the end of it or something. Which I kind of want to do that now. That would be quite cool. But that thing looks great. Really much good. More of a traditional style looking Squig. Obviously, it's got a big rocky kind of bony, smashing head, but with an armor plating bolted onto it as well, just to add even more punch. What sort of rules is that thing going to have?
I mean, I don't know. The charge. I mean, the size of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big old model. That from my sort of estimates is on an outrider base, which is a lot bigger than normal sort of ball bike base, like a 90mm base, about year big. So he's going to be quite a big lad. To be fair, it's going to absolutely wreck on the charge. Absolutely,
some mortal wounds most likely on the charge, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
without mortal wounds on the charge.
He's basically like the new Warbiker boss. I'm guessing he's going to be like that sort of character. You can sort of flit around and just wreck whatever he touches.
Yeah, maybe with maybe with some slight downsides. I think maybe this Smasher Squig could be a bit uncontrollable at times. Maybe little bit of random movement or something. I kind of get the feeling that this thing is just like chomping at the bit to just ram anything. Maybe it's going to have some kind of like fun special rules or something that makes it a little bit unpredictable and a little bit uncontrollable. So it'll hit like a freight train.
Yeah,
but maybe it'll hit your own stuff sometimes. I mean, some people might not like that. I think that would be hilarious if it just like he loses control. You can see he's lost control of it a few times because he's already lost an arm to the fucker. It's just that's going to be. I don't know. I think they've got an opportunity there to make a really fun unit that adds a layer of unpredictability to proceedings, and I think that could be really fun.
Definitely. I'm just hearing the dog barking away in the background. One of the neighbours has got the cheek to stand at our end of the pathway for that.
No worries. The viewers are probably hearing all the cars driving past at the moment, but I've kept the window open because my house is still incredibly hot at the moment. But yeah, that probably the highlight of the whole box. That thing for me, the Smasher Squig.
There's so much detail on it. There's so much detail. Just little touches like the pegs bolted into its side, and he's got a bit of a brand at the back on the Squig's right hand side on like the flank. He's like got an orc skull. Like,
I bet the Grot that did the branding is no longer with us. That was Chomp. Gone.
It looks like the boss has got some kind of fur on his back as well because there's a like a paw.
Yeah.
Hanging off it, so I don't know, off a hairy Squig, but yeah, it's just I just think it's a fantastic model. I can't wait to get my hands on that one.
It really is, and again, another really fun one to paint that you could have some real fun with and do something crazy with.
Yeah.
We just before we veer away from the Squigs onto the other stuff. Speaking of Squigs, one thing we forgot to mention is another highlight from this box is the Bomb Squig.
Yeah.
How cool is that thing?
That's mint, isn't it?
Little monowheel.
little snotling.
Yeah.
With a nail. He's got it. I wonder if Neil does anything.
I hope so.
The D6 strength 8 attacks minus 4 AP D6 damage.
He manages to get it in the eye of someone.
With plus 2 AP.
I think the nail will do something when the thing explodes. That's a bit of shrapnel. Someone's going to catch that in the eye, aren't they? That's what the nail's going to do. The Snotling doesn't realise that. He thinks he's going to come in and swing it around like Excalibur or something,
Yeah.
But yeah, that is brilliant. That is absolutely fantastic. And I'll be using that thing. Even if I'm not using that unit, that'll go in my Tank Buster squad. I'm just like, you're going in there. You're a Bomber Squig. Like that. So he's got multiple uses. And yeah, it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love it. Bomb Squigs are brilliant at the best of times, but done like that, just elevated it to another level. It's really cool. And the nail is just it's the cherry on the cake, the little nail. It's but that only leaves one more thing, doesn't it? Which was the big surprise of the whole reveal. The return of a classic character, which they had hinted at a few days before when they revealed the Painboss, who we'll get to in a minute. But they said that there's a return of a certain character who's got an affection for Grots, and we'll tell you more in 2 weeks. And then a day or two later, there he is, revealed to us in this box. So what they're going to reveal in a couple of weeks, I don't know, maybe his rules or something, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah. But what do you make of him? Because he's very different from how he used to look, isn't he?
He is. Right.
Very
Can I say something controversial?
Go.
I was never a fan of the original. The original model.
Oh, you have triggered some. The comments section. I can feel it now.
I did like the old. I mean, that's when I got into orcs.
Yeah.
Actually, I got into orcs before that. I got into orcs when it was. It was just as though bringing out that range. I had the old Space Orc Raiders, I think they were called, the full metal ones.
So you're into it right from the beginning, from like Rogue Trader.
Yeah, yeah. And it was before the plastic kit came out in 1990.
Yeah.
And they started bringing out the ones that looked a lot more cartoony. They were a lot bigger than the old Space Raider ones, Orc Raider ones. There's a lot of them had the plastic arms and what have you. And I quite like that style. It wasn't all teeth and ferociousness. It was just lots of big grins.
Yeah.
That. And, I didn't mind that. But then again, it was, I didn't know any better, Stevo.
No,
it was,
that's it.
It's all
They're a product
the
of their time, weren't they?
Yeah. But then, so it was the big, round, like MGM lion type, big fro, big beard. I just wasn't a fan. I thought the grabber stick was a bit, you're not going to catch anything with that.
It's really chunky, isn't it?
You need a head as big as him to catch with the grabber stick, because when it closes, the grot's going to go, all right, cheers, and just duck out and mash. So, I don't know. It was just a few things. I was never a big fan. I never got that model, because I never really wanted it. I can look back at it and see the charm in it.
Yeah,
but I wasn't the biggest fan.
I feel like that about a lot of the second edition Ork stuff. It has a charm, and it's got a certain nostalgia attached to it. But if you take away the nostalgia and stuff, and it's unfair to judge them by today's standards, because the whole process has come such a long way since then.
Yeah, totally.
But they've got that. But yeah, I'm kind of agree with you there. I feel that way about a lot of that second ed stuff.
It's going to do you some damage,
Yeah, oh no, I'm used to it. The grinning faces and things, though. There was a certain period, and I think I talked about it before with the Tyranids. The Tyranids went through a certain phase where they were all just smiling, and I'm like, well, that doesn't look threatening at all. It just looks daft.
Yeah.
And I never really got into that. I much prefer the sort of when they went through the third edition and updated the orcs, and they're much more aggressive looking, roaring and snarling and stuff. And you've still got that comedy in that, but they also look threatening and a bit less comical. But what do you think about this new one then?
I'll be honest, I really like it. I liked it. For the first second I saw it, I thought it was a weird boy.
Same.
I thought he was a weird boy.
I think everyone did.
And then when I realised it was Snagger, I still liked it. Although I did think, why have they given him a power claw? But I think that's just an unfortunate angle. It's I do. I know a lot of people have disliked the hair. Because you shouldn't be able to count the number of hairs on somebody's head, but it's
it's not a challenge with my head. You're not there for very long.
It's getting easier every day. To be fair,
you can do it on one hand.
But no, I like the hair. I mean, you look at any of the minis, even like you can pick the best of the. I don't know, Primarchs. I'm trying to pick an expensive mini where they've got hair, because Baden's like an egghead now, but you pick one and you go, that looks like Lego hair.
Yeah,
you haven't spoken individual hairs, or I made an effort at it. You just went, that's the hair. It's a little bit of
Lego hair where everyone's got a Mr. Bean haircut.
Yeah. But they've got to do something like that. It's got to, it looks like the Japanese anime sort of style.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, all that
sort of
stuff.
It's a style they're definitely going with on a lot of things. I've seen a lot of that with a lot of the undead stuff and things, and a lot of the elves and things. They've done that. I did criticise it a little bit. I like it. I think the crazy sort of wiry look of it. I think it looks really cool, and I think that's the number one thing that gives him that weird boy look.
Yes.
But I would have preferred it if, like the top knots you get in the Boyz, and they're the big plume of hair, and they've got the grooves in them, so it gives that sort of, it looks like hair rather than like a solid object kind of thing. So I would have preferred it if it was textured a bit. It had that little bit. I think that would have just elevated it a little bit more. But to be honest with you, it's really nitpicky. I'm not overly fast. I still think it looks really cool, and
it gives the impression of wild, sort of out of control hair. And that's what it is. What I've thought about doing with it is, if you look at the model, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6. We'll call them strands, right? just for the sake of argument, which are the most upper ones. I was thinking of maybe taking those off, or at least trimming them back so the knot is upwards. And blunting the ends and trying to just make them look more like dreads.
Cool.
Into thick, so like it is like thick braids almost. Not braids, just
like
dreads. you haven't got the individual definition of hair. Obviously, you have if you look at it close up, but you're only that big and not that far away. And do somehow the beard, just try and just blunt off some of the finer ends, just to give it, to give it that sort of appearance. Because I think he would suit dreads, and it would.
He would. He definitely would.
Sort of thing, that it would all sort of fit. But I don't really mind the hair or the beard.
I love his.
I quite like it. I'd rather we have that than like a normal sort of bald orc head.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't suit him. That would, he has to. I mean, he has to have the crazy hair. He has to have the beard. That is Wart Snagger, isn't it? That's what he's iconic for. But talking about the weapon he's got the. It looks like, from what I can see, with the runt herds, you get the choice of the grot prod or the grabber stick. It looks like he's got 2 in 1. He's got the grabber stick at one end and the grot. So it looks like he's going to be able to do both buffs. So with a runt herd, you have to choose between one or the other. It looks like he's going to have both those abilities, which is a lovely little touch. I like that. He's just he's going to be a souped up runt herd, isn't he? That's going to just do so much more than your regular runt herd. And they've already said that he's going to buff like one unit. You can basically this unit are super grots. That's cool to have that back again. That's been something.
That could be very, very good.
Yeah.
Because people are going, we'll have a grots in combat with a weapon skill of 4+, or hitting on 3s with a grot blaster. But if it goes on the keyword, as I mentioned in my latest video, the Drunken Ork YouTube channel.
Nice plug, like it. Smooth.
If you can get it on the keyword, you could be putting it on a unit of 6 mech guns. And then when you put them on the field and the split in the 6, just like a custom job, you could. I don't know if it is going to be like +1 to hit, but you could be hitting on 3s with like custom mega cans or killer cans or grot tanks or any of the really good sort of grot
if
units,
he's able to put it on anything with that's a point. I hadn't considered that actually.
If he's got the
interesting to see if he
goes for me, who runs mech guns and killer cans and grot tanks and mega tanks. A mega tank with 7 custom mega blasters hitting on 3+. Rerolling 1s.
Ouch.
Way out. Goes from that's interesting to have 3.
Auto include.
Exactly. Yeah,
that will be interesting. I think one thing he will definitely do is make grots have more staying power in terms of leadership and morale, and I think he will make sure they stay there when he's within range. And I think whatever unit he buffs is probably going to have a much higher leadership. So that's going to be... Grots are quite often used for just objective grabbing, aren't they? So having that staying power to stay and hold that objective till you can score on it is going to be really useful ability.
I think he's going to have some sort of stratagems or strategies as well to affect grots. Because at the minute, grots have got nothing.
And perhaps he's the answer to that. Perhaps if you've got him, he opens it up to be able to do stuff that they can't usually do. That would be very interesting.
Put a few CP out, and you can affect another grot unit. Not the nominated one, or maybe them as well. But you can affect any grot unit with whatever that strat is, whether it is to sort of like pass morale, whether it's to get stuck in more, just.
Well, he's going to give them delusions of grandeur, isn't he? He's going to put ideas in their head. He's going to hype them all up and whip them into a frenzy.
These grots know they're good boys. You see, that's the thing.
Yeah,
not always getting a clip every 2 minutes. They know they're good boys.
He's a guy. I'm with you. In terms of the model, I think he's fantastic. I fell in love with him. Initially, he was the thing that I was like, that's the best thing in the box. But it's got. I think it's between him and the Smasher Squig. But I love his sort of skinny bodies. It looks really good. You can see sort of his pecs and stuff are sort of sagging a little bit. He just looks a little bit aged, a little bit withered.
Yeah.
But
it's
still,
the wrinkles on his elbow and stuff like that. And he's also I think possibly only the second model I've seen have done this, where he hasn't got a full mouth of choppers.
Yeah, he's missing loads of teeth, isn't he?
Yeah, Gaz was like that. And at first, when I looked at his head, I thought, he looks really old. But it just makes him look like he's been around. He doesn't. I mean, he wants to look old, the Zogwart model, because he is. But yeah,
He looks like a sort of an old withered lion, you know, like a lion in the Pride of the Old one in the thing. He looks just a little bit, you know, he's a bit aged and a bit, but still dangerous. Still got it.
The one thing I didn't quite get was, and it's not like it doesn't, you know, as far as the model goes, it doesn't bother us as much. But I've heard people mention this, and also, you know, I kind of agree. Why he's got two eyes? So I know the old model only had one, but it was
he had
it was
patch,
artwork.
Didn't he have a patch?
Yeah, he had a patch.
Yes, that's
and
right.
The old artwork had one. You know, whenever you used to see him. So, but they've made the effort to give him two, and I think a patch or even like, you know, a bionic eye or whatever, you know, because it needs clag something like that on, wouldn't detract from the rest of the model or the feel of it. He's got a bionic leg. That's, you know, it's not an issue. And there's other models with the bionic eyes in that box set.
Seems like they're
it doesn't. It doesn't make much of a difference to us. But it's just, I wonder why they've done that.
I think sort of lore purists are sort of like, well, that's sort of, I think there's a little bit of retcon in there of a bit of his lore by the sound of it, and they've kind of tweaked things a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as a model, he looks great. I mean, I know some people have said they plan to get him and just use him as a weird boy, do a little bit of converting with him and things. And I don't think that's too far of a stretch, because most of us, when we first saw him, thought, oh, new weird boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks fantastic. But yeah, that's everything you're getting in that box. So you're getting old Zogwart, Smasher Squig, Squig Hog Riders with the Bomb Squig, 20 Beast Snagger Boys, and the Codex all in one box. How much do we think that's going to be? It's going to be...
My money's on 125. That's how much the Sisters of Battle box was.
Did that come with the Codex as well?
I think it did, yeah. I didn't get it, but you know, floozies with Uzis isn't really my bag.
No, same.
but it just seems like a decent price. I think if you tot up how much they'll come to separately, again based on a hefty amount of guesswork, I think that came in about 175, 180 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, so 120 sounds kind of doable. I mean, I think
the average at around the 30% mark.
Yeah, I think they're probably
about 125. So
I think you're definitely in the right ballpark, and I think one reason they can do that is what we discussed earlier. Then Beast Snagger Boys being mono build ones, a simplified kit with less sprue, you know. So I think that is what's going to help keep that cost down. I just hope I can get one, because I know they're going to be very limited edition. The day after they put on, you're going to see them all over eBay and things going for ridiculous prices.
You see them on eBay before they even went live.
Yeah,
I mean, there's people just scalpers banking on getting however many because they've got whatever dirty tricks up the sleeve.
Yeah, this is the trouble. This is the trouble.
But I'll be sat there with, you know, my finger poised on the mouse, waiting for it to launch.
Same, and just keeping
I'll
my fingers crossed.
get it from GW as well, because I know I'll get it from GW. Well, I'm confident I'll get it from GW, whereas all the other sites in the past, when I've done that sort of
GW haven't been too good to some of their suppliers of late with things like that. There's been some things going on there where they haven't supplied them with what they told them they were going to supply them with, and then them companies have had to let their customers down.
At least if you get it from GW, you know you're going to get it.
Yeah,
you're going to pay for it, and you're possibly even contributing to the problem by doing that ultimately. But I know it's a selfish attitude, but at least I'll get one.
Yeah, well, it's certainly better than paying scalpers' prices, isn't it? But I mean, hopefully
I wouldn't do that in principle.
Yeah, same. If I don't get it, I just don't get it. I'll be miserable for a while, and that's it. I just won't get it.
I don't be paying over the odds for something if it's out of print and somebody just happens to have one.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. Bollocks that.
Hopefully they limit the amount people can buy. I mean, we were discussing it on the Discord the other day, and I think it should be limited to one per customer. I think you don't completely solve the issue, but it would go a long way to solving the issue. You've got to limit it, and some people, just for their own personal wants, probably do want more than one. I spoke to a few people that plan to buy more than one, but I think it's better that more people get one.
Yeah.
And everyone, as many as possible get to have it, because that would be good. But
Yeah,
outside, go on.
My first thought was to get two, so I get two, and then I thought, well, no, I'll just get one because there'll be a lot of people wanting them, and I'd rather they actually get them.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But I mean, I don't think me taking one instead of two is going to make a world of difference.
No.
I expect. Well, thank you, Sydney. That was very good of you. But it's the one.
It'll make a difference to one person.
It will, yeah.
You'll make one happy person in the world.
But yeah, it's the scalpers are always going to be there, whilst people are always willing to buy them. What GW did with Indomitus, I thought was fantastic. It was really good.
When they did the made to order.
They turned around a few days later and said, "Look, if you want one, put an order in. We'll make an order. You'll get it."
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I thought fantastic. All these people sitting on like 12 copies, trying to flog them for £250 a pop.
Yeah, that was great, and it screwed them people over. Brilliant, fantastic. Anytime they can screw the scalpers, good stuff.
But then they've booked the trend with other stuff where they haven't bothered. It's out of stock, tough tits.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
It's strange. I get annoyed. I was really pleased when I saw the unbox. I was like, oh, brilliant! And then I saw them horrible words that we see in limited edition. Like, now I've got to just suffer the anxiety and the stress of that worry of, am I going to get it? Am I going to be one of the ones that can get it, or is it going to just be gone in minutes and just be sitting there hitting the F5 key constantly trying? Is it going to? Yeah, I don't know. But hopefully.
It's the only dark cloud hanging over. Really,
yeah. It's just better. Yeah, so hopefully we both get one, and then I'm sure we'll end up on our respective channels doing unboxings and reviews and whatnot, and having a good old look through it all. Yeah. That'll be good. But outside of the box, they also revealed something that's been sorely missing for a long time. We haven't had a miniature. And we recently lost the rules for him as well. The Warboss in Mega Armor. Another lovely surprise from all these reveals. What do you think of him?
It's a good model. It certainly is. I know it's one of the things that people have mentioned is a concern, but it's not for me, is the fact that he hasn't got a power claw. He's got a big chopper, which I like, because I like to see a big chopper. Cut that out. I'll rephrase that.
No one's judging you. It's 2021, man. It's fine.
You know what I mean? It's just something different, and I do think that'll not have a standard big chopper profile. I'm pointing. Sorry, I was moving my phone down there with the.
I think they did say, didn't they, that it's
going to be different with a normal big chopper. I don't know if that's going to increase the possibility or likelihood of anybody ever using, what was it, big chopper's head whopper or
head whopper's kill chopper.
There you go. Yeah. You see, I've not paid much attention to it. I really like the fact he's got that. It does look a lot like one of the other knob ones. The two saw blades out the front, but you can tell as well they've kept in theme with their mega knobs.
Yes,
the box bit round the head, but
he looks like he'd sit next to them very nicely and fit with them.
It looks like one of the mega knobs from the original kit has the current kit, his Toy Story style come to life. Yeah, and then you walk back in the room just as he was about to give Buzz Lightyear a clip.
Yeah.
He's in sort of like more.
That is the best description of him I've heard, I have to say.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's the same kit. It's just his feet are planted differently. He's hefting. It's a good model. It's a sound model. I like the Grot on the top as well. I like to see a turret Grot on a.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's funny to see GW basically copying the third parties now. There's a couple of third parties that have had this kind of design of a mega boss with a Grot on the top with the gun, and which means he's going to have a 4+ ballistic skill, which is nice. Yes, the Grot can take care of the shooting, the Ork can take care of the combat, which is the right way to do it. I really like him. I've seen a few people, not many, most people seem to be very happy, but a few people say they're not overly keen on him. I'll
be honest, he's not my favourite out
No.
of all
He's
the
quite
reveals.
generic looking, isn't he?
Yeah, this is it. Out of all the reveals I've done on the 7th, he's. I mean, I'm not going to go through individual boys,
Yeah.
but he's at the bottom.
Right.
I prefer Zogwart to him. I prefer the knob on the Smasher Squeak to him. I prefer all the Squig Hog boys to him. And in general, the boys, I'm more interested in getting the boys than I am him. Because although...
well, they're new, aren't they? They've got that new...
Yeah.
He's an update of something. He's something so he's possibly less exciting. He doesn't have that wow factor.
I've got more Warbosses and Mega Armor than I can use at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
Because although GW's finally sort of brought it out, which means the rules will be coming back and all the rest of it, third-party suppliers haven't stopped doing it.
No.
Third-party company, sorry. Whether it's Artel or the Hardcore or, God, there's so many out there doing them. And to be fair, and you picked up on this on your video, and I had exactly the same thought. I've mentioned it on mine. We haven't struggled too much with the model, the rules definitely, but not the model. And we don't fudge things together.
No, yeah, annoyed me. Was that the word he used? Was it fudge? It
was fudge or bodge. I think it was fudge. Either way, I mean, you could say we're Ork players, we don't bodge things together, but we do.
Of course we do.
we use great skill and talent to make things which appear to have been bodged. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the models have been out there, but it is a nice model. It's good to get the rules back, definitely, and it shows that they are listening because it does.
They've thrown us a bone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think they probably expect us to be eternally grateful for it.
Yeah, they probably do. But
I really like it. One thing I like about him is how generic he looks. He's kind of almost like a blank template. He's just a Warboss in Mega Armor, and I think sometimes people expect a little bit more, but sometimes if they go too specialised in a certain direction, it kind of takes him down one path. This is just, he could very easily fit in any clan. You can change his head or do bits and add your own little flair to him. But what are
paint job's going to do it, isn't it?
Totally. I mean, obviously he's painted up goth styly in the picture, but yeah, I mean, I think he'll look fantastic in yellow.
You could see him just as easy or just as good looking yellow or blue. Any of the others? Red is another one. Yeah.
Indigo. I do have concerns about him though. The big chopper weapon looks awesome. I think it looks great. My concern though is that we're going to get him back with less options, both in the data sheet and the kit, and that's just I'm basing that on nothing other than my fears and a bit of experience with GW. So I hope he does still have the option for Power Claw. I hope he does still have the option for... I mean, that miniature, if he comes and he's got different arts, so he's got the one with the swing of the thing, or he's got an option for kill saws, or he's got an option to have a custom Mega Blaster even, would be awesome. It would be great for him to have those options, and maybe he's got different heads and stuff. Hopefully he comes in a multi-part kit. Hell, maybe even the Grot on the top has an option of different guns to have on the turret. Maybe you could have a big shooter, maybe he could have a Scorcher on the turret or something. So hopefully what we've seen is just one build option of him.
Well, they do that all the
though.
time. They can only show you one.
Yeah.
And then they've done this before where they show you one model and you get it and you open the kit and you realise you have got options.
Yeah.
And if it's a character, I think it's important to do that because, like you say, there's not many characters, unless it's like a named character, who comes with,
But they come with what they come with, don't they?
Yeah. Whereas otherwise you've got a bit more options. He's on a bigger base as well. He's on a big base, him. I reckon that's the Zodgrod, I think, is generally accepted that he's on a 50mm base. I think he's on the same size base.
I think so too, yeah.
I've done a size by size. I got a Grot.
Yeah.
Right? And I put it, on like a photo of a Grot model, and I stuck them next to the Grot on top, and I sized them up so they were the right size. and then I moved the base down and I checked the bit, and yeah, there's easy 2 bases on there, 2 Grot bases. So that would be a 50mm base as well, which means he's a big lad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's going to be standing head and shoulders above the regular Mega Knobs, and he's going to be he's going to be an imposing miniature,
which is good,
but
obviously.
Not ridiculously scaled, which I like as well. And this is why I prefer him to a lot of the third-party ones that exist already. I really like him because he's going to be that Warboss scale, and there's a trend amongst a lot of third-party companies and people that do their own ones to just go a bit over the top with the scale. Which it's down to personal taste. Some people really like that. I don't really like it when it gets a bit ridiculous, and you get Warbosses the size of like Land Raiders and stuff. I think it starts getting a bit silly then. But he looks, like you say, he looks like a big lad, but just the right sort of size. But hoping he has them options. Be nice if he can still have power claws or kill saws or other stuff, and and different heads to choose from. It's going to be cool. I'm definitely. That's one model I would definitely be getting. If it is just as he is, I think he looks great, and I'll paint him up and have him just as he is, like as he is on that picture, and be content with him. But I'll be so much happier if he comes in a multi-part kit with different options and things, so you can.
I mean, it's all guesswork, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
I'd be surprised if he didn't. It'll be the arms that you'll have to replace. Maybe still a shoulder. Shoulder pads will be, shoulder pads. But I can see him just as easy, with like his left arm. I told him the base of the chop. I'm sort of pointing out, where that head's facing, with the back arm sort of just sitting cocked with whatever shooter or like custom mega blaster. He's got I think that would be a good pose. Definitely. The rest of the body would suit that pose.
Yeah.
And even the shoulder pads on top look like they're opened enough to have that left arm raised up.
A little bit of movement and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I know, won't we?
Yeah, because I mean, if it's the case that they do it like that, they'll sell them by the truckload. Because that's the sort of thing that you'll buy multiple purchases of that to have different versions of them and to get them out in different ways. But so that was everything from Warhammer Fest. We did have a little bit more stuff before then, though, didn't we? We also had the Painboss and his Grot orderly.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Everyone's forgotten about him. And he's fucking lovely looking. Another one that's heavily divided opinion. Some people, the head, divided opinion. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I really like it myself.
I've flip-flopped backwards and forwards on it so many times. Do you know what it is? Well, the last time, I mean, to be fair, I haven't really thought about it for the last week or so.
Yeah, no, it was like I say, it was
distracted by something that I can't think of. But what the last time I had a decision on it was that I liked it again, and it was because I'd seen and this is such a poor reason to like this, but I'd seen the original sort of mini that he was based on.
Yes,
and I'd had that mini, and I'd liked that mini at the time, and somehow I just I never painted it, but I never put 2 and 2 together. It's essentially the same, the band and the square blanks for eyes and the metal jaw. I was like, oh shit, is that? Yeah, that's quite cool. Because I was going to paint the blanks as like lenses, or something like that. But now I don't think I will.
It's got a nice nod back to the past, doesn't it? It's of quite an obscure mini as well that
it was.
Most of us didn't have a memory of because he's not one of the sort of more well remembered sort of past ones. It's but a few keen-eyed members of the community spotted it and showed that look, he's this. It's based on this.
They're a very clever bunch.
There we are. Yeah. Yes. Very cunning. I've seen some people as well sort of talk about his hand, the way his hand. They say, he looks more like a demon hand. But I think the only reason people are saying that is because it's posed in a very similar way to one of the demon ones that has the hand out like that. It's
unusual to see an orc hand that isn't holding a weapon.
Yeah. I think it looks great. You've got the fingers separated individually, which you don't see. They're usually clumped together as one solid bit.
Together and wrapped around a bit of gun.
Yeah. And I find it funny that people are moaning about that Like you've got like an actual hand open up where you've got the individual digits detailed in there, and it's. So I find it funny that that's a point that they would criticise. I'm like, I think it looks really great, and I think it
I like it.
gives him a thing. Gives you the option to put something in that hand if you want to. You can give him a sort of a Hamlet style sort of, you could do, you could do anything
just
with it.
Any old bit of blob.
Yeah,
That's a technical term, but you just make some like organ.
Yeah, or a severed head of an orc that he's about to stitch back on, or something, or a limb, or whatever. You could.
When you say like the apothecary model that's holding the gene seed bits and all that, you could do like that. Just not gene seed, or it could maybe it's gene seed. What the fuck's this? Gene seed.
But, put it in a squig, see what happens.
Just a little starting scrotum.
Yeah. The only sensible option seems that just eat it. But yeah, I think he looks really cool. He's got the what they call the super legs or
super legs.
Super legs. Does what it says on the tin. He can nip about the battlefield, which is very handy for a buffing character like that to be able to get to where he's needed quickly and keep up with some of the faster moving stuff.
I'd never realised until now that the super legs
they go the other way, like sort of.
Yeah, but just where the knees are, the pistons from the knees, I'd go up to those braces around his chest.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
I think that bit as well, sort of clamped into his chest, it really looks nice and detailed.
Yeah, I thought that was just to keep his
gear on, yeah.
I thought it was unnecessarily harsh, because, strap. But, it's connected to his super legs.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail going on there.
Yeah.
And
he should be rapid.
Of all the models we've seen, every single one we've seen, I think he offers the most fun and diversity in terms of painting, because there's so much going on there. You've got the little Squig IV bag going on with the wires, and you've got the tanks on the back, and you've got that other weird little squig creature up on his back.
Squig, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and you've got all the bionic bits and the organic bits, and you can have fun with like blood splatters and things like that. He looks like he's going to be like a fun miniature, just really take your time with and just go crazy, let your imagination run wild. And again, another one, once he's out there in the hands of the community, be really interested to see what people do with him. And I think it could again maybe change some people's perception of him when they see him done in different ways. And
it definitely will.
But he's definitely the head's definitely got the sort of Iron Man Mark 1 man in the Iron Mask sort of vibe going on.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of. But yeah, I really like him. He's yet another highlight, and
I love the. And I know it's not really the model, and you don't have to put it on. I'm sure it's just freehand or possibly a transfer, but I think freehand. At the top, the snake bite logo, symbol glyph, done like the medical, the intertwined. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic touch. And it would only really work with snake bites.
That is very cool. And his sidekick, as you put him, I think you described him as a monowheel gimp or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's got into the S&M look and that. He's got the sort of. I think was it the mono wheel that did it, where it looks almost like black studded leather or something. He's got the.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think somebody else I was talking to had said that they thought he had studded leather pants on at first,
which would be hilarious.
I see Marilyn Manson. I don't, because he's got crude bionic arms and the monowheel legs and but it does. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, that's not the correct way to wear a mask. Do you know what I mean? He's no thing at the top. He's got nothing over the lockdown. But he's weird as hell. He slightly creeps us out.
Yeah,
but
he looks. He's an evil looking bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he
looks
enjoys
like a vindictive little shit. He really does, and. You don't want him popping wheelies up on you, do you? Sneaking up on you. But,
no, that's not the face you want to see leering down at you from the operating table.
Fuck no. But yeah, he looks great. I just love the work they're doing with the Grots and the Squigs, and it's great to see him really focusing on those little details like that. And he just looks. He's going to be great in Evil Sun's armies and Speed Freak armies are going to love having many things on wheels as possible, and really really cool stuff. But and we've still got that. We've pretty much covered everything they've shown so far. I think we have covered it. There's nothing I'm missing, is there? I think that is everything.
I think that's a lot. Yeah.
But apparently that's only 50% of it. So what the fuck else is coming?
Oh, well, was that a rhetorical question?
No, it was an actual question that I'm expecting you to answer.
Actual question.
Coherently, with a witty anecdote, go.
Well, I mean, there's still a few things to see from the original video, isn't there?
Yeah.
The Bone Boss, which I don't know if they've ever called him that. That's just what he's adopted that moniker from us. But I don't think that's going to be anything to do with the Warboss and Mega Armor kit, add-ons, options.
I agree with you, Dread. You're wrong on that one, my friend. I'm calling it here, and I will make a public apology video if you turn out to be right, all right? But you are wrong, my friend.
I'll not make a video. I'll just
You'll just say, what? I didn't say nothing.
I never said that. Camera trick, that
No, never said it.
But, we're gonna see him, and we're gonna see the chariot, I suppose, of Corner, because it looks like it's pulled by Squigs.
Yeah.
What the hell it's going to be, though? I honestly,
it looks weird. A weird boy tower thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Which I think would be quite suited again for like the not the feral theme, but the traditionalist theme that the Beast Snaggas are running with. I think that'll be apt. But we'll see what that is. But I think there's going to be the rest of it is more than likely going to be, for want of a better word, standard.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Not just be standard as in theme. There might be new things, but more standard. Not sort of like
not Beast Snagger.
Boyz.
Yeah.
Or whether it be elite or heavy or whatever, I don't know. But standard orcs like the Warboss, because you can't have the Warboss released on his own. What's he a Warboss of?
Yeah.
And that if they do a combat patrol, if we do that. Then that's what I think they'll focus that on.
Standard, possibly.
Standard orc. If they do that.
If they do that, if they do.
The army box Beast Snaggas, and if we do the combat patrol, that'll be
very cool. That'd be very cool.
I'd like that, because that'll give a couple of options. And that's they're always a bargain, to be fair.
Because as cool as the Beast Snagger stuff is, and it is really cool, it's going down one particular path, isn't it? And it's not for everyone. I'm all about the dread mobs. You seem to be quite a lot about like the vehicles and tanks and things. It seems to be the thing that really floats your boat. This stuff is really cool, but it's not going to be for everyone, because it is quite feral and sort of more wild and a certain direction. There could still be a new Boyz kit. Because I was calling it early. Now I'm sort of changing, because they've revealed Beast Snagger Boyz. It seems unlikely that we're gonna get a new Boyz kit as well. But I guess stranger things have happened.
We have
Big Mech KFF.
I honestly, I think this is entirely down to the fact that when I left the hobby to when I came back to the hobby, I missed the Boyz kit, the current Boyz kit, and even in its the original iteration where it had the shooters were separate with hand grips. No, I missed all that, and I came back to it a little over a year ago. So I'm not bored of it. I'm not sick of it. I've got no problems with it.
Neither.
But I fully understand that people who might have 20 years more experience with that kit than me might be going, not that fucking kit again. Got 150 of them. I don't need any more. Give us something different. And that's absolutely understandable. Do you know what I mean? If they bring something new out, I'd be all for that. But the thing I like about the Boyz kit, it's not the sculpts, because the sculpts aren't the best, to be totally honest with you. The bodies and the legs and that especially don't scream awesome to me. But it's the fact that you can do anything with them. And even tank
so
busters,
modular with other kits.
Exactly. And you can buy all the extras you need from third parties, if not GW themselves. third parties, to be fair. I'm doing some commandos soon. I've got some backpacks. I've got some like area wearing orc heads and all that. Yeah, I'm going to knock myself up some commandos.
I've got loads of parts sitting here waiting to do commandos with, but I'm holding off until the codex because I just want to see what their options are and what they can have and etc. before I do it. I don't want to build a load of things and go, oh, they're not allowed that anymore. Oh, bollocks. You know, I want to sort of I was just holding off till we see what the codex brings and what it says in there. But
I'm doing the same myself. I'm working on trucks at the minute because I figure trucks are trucks. You know what I mean?
Well, it looks like they're going to be a big deal, doesn't it? It looks like they're going to be because they both videos now have talked about trucks and boys in trucks, and that seems to be something there. And they did talk about the commandos as well. They showed them in the trailer. So
I don't want to see oil drums and cardboard boxes.
No, me neither. I talked about that on my last live video. If I get this uploaded in time, that was last night. I don't want to see it as a standard kit. I like it when people do it. They look really cool. But I want to see the actual commando, what he looks like, and all his gear and stuff.
You know what it is? It's almost like, when the kids, the youth, are using, the terms and, the whatever sort of lingo that they go on with.
Yeah.
And then, they walk in the house and then the mum and dad goes, oh, it's so cringe. And they go, that's what it's like. We can have a joke, we can have a laugh, we can do these awesome little commando conversions. But if GW got in on it...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
God. Workshop. It's not... I
don't want to buy a kit with, like you say, with a barrel with arms and legs or a bush with an orc head poking out of it.
You see them done. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and it's just definitely not. But I think that probably was just a bit of fun with artwork and sort of paying homage to some of them things and stuff. Hopefully.
It's tricky though because they put things in those videos and you can latch onto them.
Yeah, but they don't do anything without reason, do they? It's everything's thought about, everything's done with. Even when they do videos, you see the shit that's written on whiteboards behind. Everything is done with thinking about how the community are going to see it and read into it and that. Even
no matter what some people might say, nothing's been banged out, over a couple of hours and stuff. That'll do.
No, yeah,
it's all taken. Christ, years to come to this point.
They have a whole PR team really working the social media and all this stuff, don't they? And they know that every little thing will be latched on. Every word that's said, will be.
This is true, and they don't like drawing something or essentially designing something, even just for like a bit of artwork or whatever. Just fresh, that's not related to a model. It's like we'll just put some IP out there, just help yourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, smart artists.
Yeah, totally.
Let somebody else make that model because we're not going to. We don't do that. So
on that chariot, I think. Is it going to be like a super heavy? Do we think, or just like a heavy support? Is it going to be? Because it looks big.
God, I hope it's not a super. I hope it's just a heavy.
Yeah, I think it probably will be.
Such a pain in the arse to use.
Yeah,
just crowbar them into an army.
Mm-hmm. And I think it looks like it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be a big chariot thing that can throw out psychic powers and throw out a whole load of Daka. And be a big fucking bullet magnet. Yeah. And it'll be like the centerpiece for like a Beast Snagger army, won't it? It's
that'll be cool.
I like the look of the beast that's pulling it on the artwork. They remind me of on Lord of the Rings.
There was a couple, wasn't
Minas Tirith when they're bringing old Grom to knock down the doors and it's being pulled along by them things. They styled very similar to them. They've got a unique, another unique looking Squig pulling the chariot thing, which looks really cool. And
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Any new reveals I look forward to be honest with you.
Well, it's been a long time, hasn't it? I know we had October, we had the a couple of years ago now, we had the new trucks. The trucks were not the trucks, the buggies. I like most of the buggies. I like them, but I was kind of critical. I built up a lot of hype over them, and then I ended up being quite critical of them because of the way they're very just mono build, and that's kind of all we got. Disheartened me a bit. But we got Gazgol as well, not overly long ago. It doesn't seem like long ago at all, really. And Makari, which was really cool. But we haven't had releases like this for probably since like 3rd edition, as significant as this, of like this much new stuff. It's really fucking exciting to be an Ork player right now.
Look, it is. I mean, I have to take your word for it. For when they had the releases. I mean, like I said, I wasn't even back in for the buggies. But I was quite pleased with the Gazgul release. I thought that was a good model.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing with the monobuild stuff. He was very much monobuild.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the option of that or that.
Yeah. He's looking left or looking right.
It doesn't really matter because you've got one Gaz.
Yeah.
You had to have
I don't mind it with named characters.
It's going to look sus. But we never I mean, back, just to sound like an old fart again, back in the day, monobuild wasn't something which was ever even a concern because although the Space Ork box, the first like all plastic Ork kit, was modular, they all had the same body, and legs. They were sort of one piece. A few different heads, and you had the arms, with different legs on. But all the other figures, everything was modular. It went pretty much one way.
Yeah, a lot of blister packs and metal models and stuff like that.
And if you wanted to start converting that, I mean, you needed sneak green stuff. You had milliput, and you had a hacksaw,
power tools, and that.
Yeah, you were cut through sort of whatever white metal you were working with. It was a right chew on. So you just didn't bother. You just went with
some of the metal ones. Just building them as they were intended was a fucking ball ache.
Yeah,
hoping the arms would just stay on the bastard.
I rarely got the larger models to stay together. To be totally honest with you, I wasn't going to be pinning.
Caked in so much super glue.
It's so easier now with plastic.
Yeah, it is. But I think we got spoilt through like 3rd edition was really the start of that style of kit where they went through and you had like the Space Marines and the Chaos Space Marines and the Ork Boys, where you've got your legs, you've got your torso, you've got your heads, you've got your left arm, your right arm, and I think that period is my favourite sort of period of miniatures and how they come, the way they come in those kits, where you can twist the torso on the legs, you can move the arms up and down, you can have different heads, and you can turn the heads the way you want them. And the downside is it does have sort of clear joins and stuff, and the arms just sort of move up and down robotically. They don't really swivel around. Well, Space Marine ones do because they're kind of ball and socket, aren't they? But I love that era, and I think those of us who have kind of been around through that 3rd, 4th, 5th edition have such fond memories of those kits. And then when these new, more dynamic kits, which look amazing but restrict you a bit more, it's a bit of a but yeah, buggy wise was a bit of a kick in the balls when it's like, they're all really like, you literally just build it as it's seen there, and there's really, unless you're going to get creative, there's nothing you can do with it. You don't get to choose.
There's no sort of entry level.
Conversion. There's no choice. Like,
if that's the term, if you're just new to converting, that's daunting as hell, like a buggy kit.
Yeah.
There's people who can do it, no problem at all. But the beginning, you're working with a Boyz kit, and you think, well, if I just cut this arm out and position it out a bit, as opposed to just straight up, and and I'm going to stick parts from this kit on him, so he's got this. That's quite cool, and you can do that, and it's dead easy, and anyone can do it, and it's fun, and it's like it's a step on the ladder.
Definitely.
But before you know it, you'll be combining buggy kits and making knows what. But you'll be able to do it. But for just say, if you've not done that before, it can be. I imagine it'd be really sort of, do I really want to balls up a 30 quid kit?
I think some players some people, hobbyists who have a lot of skill. I've had a couple of people say well, it doesn't matter if they're monobuild. Who cares? If they're monobuild, we'll just do what we want of them anyway. I'm like, yeah, but you're saying that because you're in a position where you've got the skills and the knowledge and the experience to do that. A lot of people either don't have that experience or skill level to do that, but they still want to be able to be creative, or they're just not brave enough to do it because they don't want to, or you can't be bothered. You don't want to go. I love just making a shooter boy, but Oh, I'm going to pop one of the heads from the Looters kit on him because I really like that head and pop it on. Wow, yeah, that looks badass. He looks so much better now. And all I've done is swap a head. Didn't take any skill, but it just I'm really pleased with that. And it's the little things that are satisfying to do. But yeah, so hopefully some of these kits, hopefully we do get modular Snagger boys. Hopefully the Warboss does have some options. But overall, even if we don't get that stuff, I've got to say, I really like the look of the shit. It looks cool. I can't wait to own it and build it and play with it and see what it's capable of. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything there, haven't we, for now?
I think we'll have.
We're getting on for about an hour and a half, so I think it's probably time we bring this to a close. Sydney, hey!
Hello, do you want to wave?
What kind of squig's that?
This is a shittiest Maximus. That's the Latin. Go on, son.
Bless. There you go. Sydney showing his softer side there. Look.
Later, I should boil you.
Everyone thought he had a Rottweiler. But there you go.
You men are poodles.
But mate, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
So links to Sid's channel, the Drunken Ork, in the description below. If you haven't gone and checked it out yet, you haven't subscribed, go and do it. Particularly for the news videos, because Sid also covers a lot of the new stuff that's coming out. But they are particular highlights. He does it in his own style. I won't spoil it for you. Go and check it out. It's hilarious. You'll love it. Go and check them videos out. Hit the subscribe button and that. And if you're watching this and it's the first time you're seeing me, hit the subscribe button here as well. All that extra. There's loads of links down below for lots of things. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. This is... Well, I'll let you say goodbye first, Sid.
All right. Cheers. Take care now. Bye-bye.
And it's 6+ Stevo signing out.